Welcome to Intersect, where church meets culture. My name is Josh Desch. I'm the lead pastor at Northeast Presbyterian Church in Columbia, South Carolina, and I am joined as always by my sparkly wife, Betsy.
Hey,
that's
Josh.
a great outfit
everybody.
you've got on there.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
A little bit of bling.
Well, everybody, we are so excited because for all of our Intersect listeners, you can now become more than listeners. You can become viewers.
Pretty exciting.
Because this is the launch of our YouTube channel, the Intersect YouTube channel, Intersect Podcast. Follow us on YouTube. Click on the notifications, all the things the YouTubers say. I don't even know them all. Do you know them all, Bets?
Make it rain likes.
Rain the likes. All the things. All the things. Bets, can you believe this? Intersect is just about to turn 6 years old.
Yep, that's right.
We started this podcast in August of 2018.
It's pretty exciting.
How about that?
Yeah.
And it's been fun to see the podcast grow. We've got almost 500 followers on our Facebook group. We've had 30,000 downloads over 6 years. So it's been really fun to see the podcast grow.
Yep.
And now having a YouTube channel is that next step. And we're so thankful that Northeast is making this possible for us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's been a great journey, and we want our audience to know that we want to keep growing the podcast, developing the podcast. One of the things the YouTube channel will enable us to do is episode shorts. Mm-hmm. So we'll be able to show just a minute or two of a particular episode, maybe something that really stands out or connects with our audience.
Absolutely.
So anybody who has followed Intersect Podcast, you know that typically we dive into deep topics. We dive into intellectual topics. We dive into cultural topics, things that are being discussed. And our mission here on the podcast is to bring a Christian perspective to areas of culture. So that's why it's Intersect, where church meets culture. But every now and then, Betsy, we like to do something that's just fun.
Absolutely. We sure do.
We sure do. And one of the things that we've started to do over the past few years are debates. Mm-hmm. What are some of the debates we've had?
We did football versus football.
Yes.
That was a great one.
Also known as football versus soccer.
Yep.
For anybody who doesn't know that.
We did the casualization of clothing. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
We did that. Mm-hmm. So 2 debates. Do you know what the record is right now between the 2 debates?
I can't believe.
Do you remember that?
Nope. Okay. I sure don't.
Okay. I think I'm 2-0 so far in the debates. Maybe I don't remember correctly, but
I do want to say I think the judging was slightly biased.
Well, you know that's what they all say. So it's like blaming the officials. Hey, that's a time-honored tradition. You blame the officials. But since this is the launch of the YouTube channel, we wanted to start out by doing something just totally fun.
Yep.
Right. Do another debate. We'll have lots of serious, thoughtful topics for you to join us on the rest of this season. But we thought we wanted to start out with something totally fun. So, Bets, what's the debate for today?
So today we're going to debate the awesome topic of vacations, which is great. And just from the beginning, you can't go wrong if it's a vacation.
No.
Right? You really can't. There's not, if it, unless something goes catastrophically wrong, there's not a bad,
wrong. Yeah.
Right, there's not a bad vacation. But for our debate today, we're debating which is a better place to vacation, on a cruise or an all-inclusive resort.
Okay. So the 2 sides are taking a cruise or going to or flying to an all-inclusive resort. That's why we've got all this stuff out here today.
Yeah.
Now, how are we going to do this debate?
Well, so we structured it that we're going to start with the positives of our side. I'm going to be arguing for resorts. Josh is going to be arguing for cruises. And then from there, we will take down each other's arguments.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I am very confident today that what I have in my arsenal will bring me this victory.
Yeah, I feel like you said that the last 2 times. But anyway, so we'll start out with an opening statement from both of us, the positive side of our case, and then we'll critique the other person's case. And then Lindsay Bradbury will come on and do the judging.
That's right.
Okay, exciting.
Mm-hmm. Would you like to start?
I'll defer.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, give me 1 minute.
Okay.
I have just a few extra accessories.
That is extra.
To get in the vacation vibe. All right? Okay. Now I'm ready. Okay, so I do want to point out my hat. Josh and I went to an all-inclusive in Riviera Maya, Mexico in 2016 to celebrate our 10-year anniversary. We had a dreamy time. I'm going to say it was dreamy.
We did.
It was called El Cid. It was basically paradise for 6 or 7 nights. It was a nice time that we had. So I'm going to talk about all of the wonderful things that one can do and experience at an all-inclusive resort. Okay? So here we go. Beautiful rooms, right? Spacious, beautiful views. When we went to El Cid, which again was on the Yucatan in Mexico, our room opened up to a glorious view. It was the most beautiful view, truly the white sand and the clear water was wonderful. That is a great way to wake up every morning. Beautiful room, just wonderful accommodations. Very spacious, and a balcony where we could go outside and sit, and it was great, okay? Now I'm going to move on to the food and drinks, because I think when people hear all-inclusive resort, that is something that they think about. There were, 5 restaurants or something like that. You can go anytime. You can go say, I'm going to get a plate of nachos. And then 10 minutes later, you could say, well, now I feel like a plate of pasta. I mean, talk about needing your stretchy pants, y'all. You need stretchy pants at an all-inclusive resort. Drinks, here's a pina colada. There's a margarita. Like, drinks are typically included in the cost of an all-inclusive resort. So it's pretty nice to sit poolside with a pina colada, or you can swim up to one of the swim-up bars. I think those are very common at resorts, and grab yourself a drink actually in the pool. Now, I will say from the get-go, I am on a vacation. I am not opposed to just sitting. I know some people love the vacations where you go and do, and those have their place, definitely. If it's just the two of us, I also love a vacation where we're just sitting. Now, I think if I had a bunch of, if I had our kids with us, that may change the equation. But so if you are one of those people who's looking for adventure, the resorts offer all kinds of excursions. You could go, in Mexico, I think one of them was going to the Mayan ruins. There's scuba diving. There's what was that thing we did that we were terrible at?
We saw
snorkeling.
Snorkeling. That's
man, we both were awful at it, but that was that was an excursion. All kinds of excursions, right? So if you are looking for adventure, there's plenty of ways to have that adventure at an all-inclusive resort. There's multiple pools. Some resorts have kids care where you can drop your kiddos and they will be well taken care of and they can do their own thing and you can go relax. These resorts, they have spas, they have gyms, they have shows and entertainment. So, for me, a perfect vacation is sitting by a pool with a pina colada and I'm reading a book. And that is a great thing to do at an all-inclusive resort. So I think if you're looking for a relaxing vacation, if you're looking for an adventurous vacation, you can't do any better than an all-inclusive resort. Thank you.
Well done, Betsy. Great job. And you look amazing.
Thank you.
As you always do. So let me now make a case for cruise ships. Why would you choose to get on a boat with a bunch of other people packed in like sardines and set off on the ocean? Why would you do that? Why would you do it if you're not in the Navy? You're not being paid to do this. You're paying to do this.
I feel like you're making my argument for me.
Why a cruise ship? I'm just getting started. And I do want to say that I have been on 2 cruises in my life. When I was a teenager, my grandfather, my mother's dad, twice paid for the extended family to go on a cruise. We did Royal Caribbean, and I have wonderful memories of those cruises. I think I would have been maybe 14 and 16 were the 2 times we did it. So it's been a long time. But I remember that they were great experiences. So let me talk about the value of cruise ships. First of all, when you get on a cruise, you are headed somewhere. You have a destination. Now, at an all-inclusive, of course, you might be somewhere beautiful, but hey, the beach doesn't change, the landscape doesn't change. But on a cruise, you get to check out different places. So especially if you've got that spirit of adventure, you want to check out St. Thomas, then you want to check out another island, you want to go to a different place, you get to do that because on a cruise, you wake up, you're in a different place, right? So that's part of the value of being on a cruise. You get to see, I mean, some of the more expensive cruises, that don't just do the Caribbean, you could go up to Alaska. Some of these cruises, the Viking River cruises, I don't know if we'll ever be able to do something like that, but those are supposed to be really amazing. You go down, you get to see all this incredible architecture in Europe and all this kind of stuff. So with the cruise, it's also about the destination, right? It's not just about the journey, it's about the destination. It's about where you're headed, and that's really cool. Now, something else I remember, now we had very nice staff at the all-inclusive we stayed at, but I think cruises are known for the staff being from all different countries. So I still remember when I went on these cruises as teenagers, I had the waiter that we had all week was from one particular nation, and the next time it was a person from a different nation. You got to learn about their culture and develop a little relationship with them. So very diverse staffing of cruises. I think they work to do that. Now, also on cruises are places. There's a lot going on. I mean, it's kind of like being a fire ant at one of those hills. I mean, you're not just sitting around doing nothing. You're all packed on this metal boat. The worst thing you can do is just stay in your cabin while you're seasick. So instead, why not explore the wonders of your cruise ship? Here are some of the craziest things, Betsy, that the internet tells us that you can do on cruise ships these days. Skydiving simulators, 4D movie theaters, robot bartenders, onboard parks and lawns, ice bars, surf simulators, water rides and slides, levitating bars, planetariums, observation rides, interactive floors and walls, craft beers, dinner shows, zip lines, car racing, aqua shows. Now, I did find one cruise ship. It's got a go-kart track at the top of the cruise ship.
Wow.
They've got bumper cars. Ice skating, all the modern cruise ships. I don't know what's up with this, but it's like they all want to just prove that they can do it because you're all going to the Bahamas, yet they all have ice skating rinks, okay? There's roller coasters on cruise ships. If you like to gamble, you can gamble on cruise ships. Now, I'm not really in support of that, okay? But and I actually that's an argument against cruise ships. So I'm going to pull that one back. But I think they all have casinos.
You said it though. You said it.
I think they all have casinos. The food's really good on cruise ships. They also have all different restaurants. Now, I want to say I've got two more arguments. Okay, and the first one, it's going to seem like I'm arguing the other side. But some people might feel like, I don't want to get on a cruise ship because what if I fall off the side? But I'm here to tell you the chances of you falling off a cruise ship are very small, very, very small. In 2023, we know that at least 10 people went overboard, but that's not very many. It's only 10.
Again, how is this making your argument?
But there was like 15 million people that went on cruises.
You're doing
from
my work for me.
America alone. Only 10 people went overboard, and 2 of them survived. So that gives you a 20% chance of surviving. You go overboard. How many people survive when the plane crashes? And I want you to know this. Now, here's what I want to say. I don't recommend cruises if you've got a bad marriage or a huge life insurance policy. Because, and I quote, reasons that people go over the side of cruise ships are typically reckless behavior, foul play, or intentional acts are almost always the cause. Almost always. So you're not just going to fall over. Someone's going to push you, or you're going to get drunk and you're going to fall over. But it's a very small chance.
Wow.
Yep.
It's a great note to end your argument on. Well, there you have it.
I had more, but I'm going to save the rest for my second opportunity.
All right. Well, those were good reasons. That was nice. I will say, in fairness to cruises, I haven't been on one. That being said, I don't feel the need to go on one to produce all of these reasons that an all-inclusive resort is better. So I already presented my positive case for why a resort is better. Mm-hmm. These are just reasons that you shouldn't go on a cruise.
Okay.
All right? Just straight up, you shouldn't go on a cruise.
I hope you don't say falling off the side, because I've just proven that that's very, very small chance, unless you got a bad marriage.
But I will say to our listeners, some of these reasons that I'm going to present are so tacky and horrific that I won't describe
Betsy,
them very much, but I will leave them to your imagination.
In 6 years, this podcast has never had an E rating. Are we going to get an E rating with this?
We'll see. We'll see. All right. So last year in 2023, there was a Carnival cruise ship that was coming back from the Bahamas, and it was actually off the coast of South Carolina. It was coming into Charleston. So this was the end of the voyage.
Right.
There was a storm so horrific off the coast of South Carolina that it was documented on Twitter, and we want to show you what that looks like. How about that? I mean, that doesn't look like a vacation to me.
Didn't capsize.
But, you know, people on that ship, there are articles all over the internet if you want to read about it, but people on that ship said they didn't hear from the crew or the captain for 12 hours or something. They're just left to themselves. Things are flooding and flying everywhere. And that doesn't seem like a vacation. I don't want to be terrified on my vacation. And, you know, I don't want to be like, well, it'll probably be fine, but it might not be. That just doesn't sound good to me. There are a lot of cruise ship problems. So let me just list a few of those, and then I'm going to give you more reasons that don't have anything to do with catastrophes. There was the Costa Concordia disaster off the coast of Italy. That was in 2012.
Is that where the boat got stuck?
Yes.
Didn't we watch something about that?
We did.
Yeah.
It capsized, and 32 people were killed in that disaster. And that was just 2012, guys. It's not like the Titanic. So what happened is it came too close to land, and the ship hit some rocks, and there was a huge, gash torn in the bottom of the boat.
Mm-hmm. I think there's a great documentary on that, by the way.
Yes.
I feel like we watched something on that.
I think we did.
Yeah.
I think we did. So, I could give you several other well-documented instances of horror on a cruise ship. Where there's just these rough storms, the boats lose power, terrible things happen. In 2013, for example, I'm not going to go into this. I'm just going to leave this to the imagination of our viewers and listeners. But in 2013, one of the Carnival cruises was renamed the Poop Cruise. I mean, again, I'm not going to talk about that more.
Is that
because
just
it's gauche?
Ad hominem? I mean, what's the basis for that moniker, Betsy?
I'm a lady, and I don't want to go there. But let's just say some terrible things happened on that poop cruise.
Should we Google that?
Yes, everybody Google it. There's the norovirus outbreaks because you have so many people packed into a small space. And, norovirus causes gastrointestinal upset, and that spread very easily on a cruise ship. I think that's also a well-documented fact. But let's think about things that don't have anything to do with catastrophes or problems. Let's just think about things that are inherent to a cruise ship. First of all, how much water is under you? I mean, think about it. There's like thousands of feet of water under you. If you stop and think about it, it's kind of scary. You have very little control when you are out in the middle of the ocean. What if something happens? You're stuck in the middle of the ocean. Also, your cabin is probably quite small. Many of them have no ocean view. So if you're overstimulated by being around these thousands of people, the place to go and get away, it's a tiny little cabin that you've paid a lot for. Also, pools are quite small on cruise ships, and it's hard. It can be really hard to get a deck chair. I don't want to be fighting to get a space by the pool. I don't want to be fighting to stay healthy from the norovirus. I want the sewer system to keep working and have that guaranteed. So for these reasons, Betsy Desch stays away from cruises.
So that's it. That's your whole thing.
Yes.
Okay.
There's a lot more I could say, but I'm limited by time.
Okay. All right.
And I think these are some pretty good reasons. And if anybody needs more proof, just Google cruise ship disasters or
Yeah.
cruise ship malfunctions, see the fires, see the power loss, see the loss of propulsion, see the loss of sewers. Okay, people, sewers.
Well, okay, Betsy, I think those are very rare instances on
Not
cruise
really.
ships. But I want to go back to what I was talking about with falling overboard. Because I feel like I can at least help the audience here with, because some of our audience is going to be on a cruise ship one day. And again, I want to say the chances of you falling overboard are very small. Now, here's different ways you might fall overboard. Types of reckless behavior. These include climbing on or over the railings.
Oh my goodness, who does that?
Attempting to recreate a certain famous movie scene,
This one.
that one from Titanic,
Yeah.
or striving to get the perfect selfie can quickly turn deadly on a cruise.
It's always the selfies. The Grand Canyon. It's always the selfies.
If someone wants to kill you, you're drunk, you're doing a selfie, creating a movie scene. These are all the ways you're going to fall overboard. But if you don't do those, you're not going to fall overboard. Okay?
Okay.
Now, I had one other thing I wanted to say. There was a guy, this guy's becoming one of my new heroes. He was on a cruise ship. He had a couple of drinks. He said he was not drunk. He fell overboard. And
From what deck?
I don't know. He fell overboard. And then he sort of came to in the water. And this was at night. Now, this guy, listen to this. He then treaded water for 20 hours.
Oh my goodness.
20 hours. And during that time, he fought off jellyfish and ate bamboo and was rescued by the Coast Guard.
Bamboo in the middle of
Well,
the ocean?
apparently there was a piece of bamboo that floated by, and he ate that gave him energy, and he floated in the coast. Shout out to the U.S. Coast Guard, saved this guy.
Is this story verified
You
by
can
anyone?
look this up. James Michael Grimes recounted
Wow.
eating bamboo and fighting off jellyfish in the shark-infested waters of the Gulf of Mexico. He told Good Morning America that his memories around the tumble are hazy. He acknowledged having a few drinks the night. He went overboard but said he wasn't drunk.
Wow.
So, again, very small chance. Now, I feel like I'm playing defense here. I need to
You
play
are.
I
Yeah.
need to play offense.
Yeah.
Okay, real quick. Here's why you should consider boats. Do you know a guy's trying to recreate the second Titanic? I just got to read this. Wouldn't you want to get a chance to experience the Titanic? No, I don't mean. No, hold on.
Remember how it ended?
No, I don't mean the iceberg part. The rest of it. Get
No, I'm good.
on the Titanic.
I'm good.
You're not
No,
going to hit
thanks.
another iceberg.
Nope.
Would
Freezing water.
Would you listen to this? Would you just listen to it? Clive Palmer. This is what the research pays off for me, Betsy. The world's 732nd richest person as of Thursday this week held a press conference in Sydney, Australia to say his dream of building a ship called Titanic 2 is alive and well, and he plans to secure a shipyard and start building the vessel early next year. Okay, this guy's going to recreate the Titanic. This includes, listen to this, plans for the ship would essentially recreate the exact ship that sank in 1912, including the famous grand staircase, a smoking room, theater, casino, dining room for passengers of various classes, including a third-class cafeteria that will serve stew and mash at long tables for those interested in the most authentic experience.
Does it end in a sink?
No, it's everything but the crash. Here's what he
That's
said.
what the Titanic is known for.
Here's what he said. This is what Palmer said. So I could do the Titanic. I'm going to do it, Palmer said. It's a lot more fun to do the Titanic than it is to sit at home and count my money. So
Wow, what a guy.
So this
Wow.
guy, he's going to rebuild the Titanic. It's going to have the 4 smokestacks. And my final argument is you could get on Titanic number 2
No.
and eat stew and mash just like that. And they're going to encourage guests to dress like they did in 1912. And it's everything but the iceberg. It's everything but the iceberg.
Wow.
So I think that people should strongly consider cruises because you can have these kind of very interesting experiences and your chances of going overboard are very small. And I think you'll have a good time.
Okay. Well, we'll let our arguments rest.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
We're going to stand or fall on the strength of the argument.
Mm-hmm.
So we would like to invite Lindsay Bradbury to the set. She is the director of communications at Northeast Presbyterian. She's a friend to both of us, and after it's over, we'll see who she's a better friend of.
She's a part of the podcast team here.
That's right.
At NEPC, along with Billy Grooms.
That's right.
And our friend Tony
That's
Bryant.
right.
So Lindsay's going to come on here, and
Yep.
I don't know about you, but I'm feeling great about what I said.
Me too.
So you're probably a little nervous right now. That's okay.
Not at all.
It's okay to be nervous.
You
But
spent most of your time talking about how you probably won't fall off. So.
well, but if you do, there's a dude who treaded water for 20 hours. Are you not impressed with that?
That is impressive, if it's true.
He fought off jellyfish, he ate bamboo, and the Coast Guard rescued him.
It's pretty
What we
impressive.
should do is we should ask that guy, would you go on another cruise?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
All right. Lindsay, come and
Lindsay,
join us.
come on. And we are now joined in the studio by Lindsay, who is going to judge this debate.
Hey, Lindsay.
Hey guys, happy to be here. I will say judging is not usually one of my favorite things I do because I'm a people pleaser.
Yes, you will displease one
right,
of us.
right. Josh is my boss. Betsy's my friend. You're both my friends. And in addition to that, as a patron of both cruises and resorts, I have enjoyed both of them thoroughly.
See, yes, you are well
Qualified.
Yes, you are
Yeah.
well qualified, but you really can't go on your own experiences. Your job as a judge here is only to decide the strength of the arguments that we made.
You are correct. And
Yes.
so it's good that I'm
Sound a little defensive there, Betsy. But
yeah, a little bit. So you're right. As a completely non-biased, I'll gladly go on either trip tomorrow if you asked me to. I will just base it solely on your arguments, which were both great, by the way. I will say one thing I noticed is, Josh, you didn't give any cons about the resorts. So, Betsy had a lot of pros for the resorts, a lot of cons for the cruises.
the truth is, I don't have a lot.
Right. There aren't very many cons for a resort. And so with that, I'd have to say that Betsy is our winner today on resorts. So
All right.
Well done, Betsy.
That's going back
there you
Well
go.
done.
Feeling pretty good about
I
that.
accept that. And Lindsay, great decision there. So thanks, everybody, for joining us. This has been fun. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel and look forward for this season and future seasons with great content as we dig into all things, some of them maybe kind of silly, but many of them very serious and topics that we explore from a Christian perspective. So thanks for joining us here at Intersect.